Commentators Lee Crooks on sideline, then in the commentary box Mike Stevenson and Eddie Hemmings.
Welcome to Carlisle Park and a truly magnificent atmosphere for this deciding test match as Gary Freeman leads the Kiwis onto the field. A full house, you can see the terraces packed in the background. There's about 17,000 people inside this stadium. Brent Todd knows how important this match is to rugby league in this part of the world. Auckland will enter the Winfield Cup in the next 12 months or 2 years. 1994 has been mentioned this week. 1995 is the target date. And what a boost this game has had here in New Zealand over the past couple of weeks with Great Britain in attendance. Arguably, this is the most important match of Great Britain's odyssey to the Southern Hemisphere. A win today, and this tour will be remembered as one of the most successful of all time. A defeat, and it will be remembered as one of the most disappointing. The pre-match formalities just about complete, but we have the national anthems. Looking at those British faces, I detect a steely determination to get the job done today.
They know what they've got in front of them for the next 80 minutes. And believe you me, they'll give it their biggest shot ever. They realise that they should have won that first test, and I don't think they'll make a mistake this time. Then for this second test, and quite a few familiar faces in that Kiwi lineup. Only 4 home-based players from the 17, and even Dean Clark is well known to us at home, the number 6, having played at Scarborough and Hulkingston Rovers last season. The vast majority of this Kiwi team earns its corn in the Winfield Cup and in the Stones Bidder Championship back home. There's the match referee, Harrigan, from Australia, controlled the game superbly last week. The British, they really do love having the Australian officials. And now we have the haka and the Great Britain boys standing there and taking this face to face. Well, intimidation from the Kiwis, but I noticed, Mike, most of the British players stood there, faced them. They're not going to be put out by that. No, not indeed, Eddie, because the fact is one of the few occasions that I've ever seen a team oppose the haka. Normally they just turn their backs and ignore it. And as you mentioned, the British boys, they just eyeball them. This is going to be one huge, and it's going to be tough. Very tough, especially in the opening 10 minutes.
And you're watching it exclusively live here on Sky Sports this morning. Carl Harrison, big things expected from him. The only change from last week. New Zealand kick off with Matthew Ridge. They're unchanged. Great Britain have just the one change. Carl Harrison. This is Billy McGinty, a man who had the game of his life in Melbourne and looking for another big game here this afternoon. Jackson the dummy half. Andy Platt. I notice Martin Offiah has drifted infield already, hunting the football. Lee Jackson finds Dennis Betts. They've been working hard in training all week, this test team. And the atmosphere inside the park, well, it's going to be a memorable afternoon, Mike.
Certainly is, and there we see early, there's a lot of swinging arms. The Kiwis are throwing them.
Graham Stedman with the deep kick downfield, and Andy Platt was felled late on there. He caught one, he's being treated at the other end of the field. This has all the ingredients of a fiery test match.
Well, the British boys are telling Harrigan that the touch judge is on. He's now seen it. And it was the prop Brent Stewart. I feel sure it was a Kiwi prop. Brent Stewart came right through and just used the elbow on Andy Platt. And Platt is down receiving treatment.
Sean Edwards telling the touch judge, as he is waved away now by Bill Harrigan, that it was the use of the elbow that felled Platt after Stedman's kick downfield.
Well, Platt was just standing in front of Stedman, acting as some form of shield. And this guy in your picture decided to just take easy pickings.
Yes, the elbow was used. Bill Harrigan has called Gary Freeman, the captain, to him. And it was number 11, Gavin Hill, who has been ticked off by Harrigan, but no other action taken. So 2 minutes of this test match, the first penalty going Great Britain's way. And let's hope that that isn't a foretaste what's to come.
Well, it's quite obviously that New Zealand are out there to really rough them up, try to unsettle Great Britain early in the piece.
Apology, I believe, lost pictures briefly back home in the UK. Great Britain are on the halfway line with Eastwood. Now Jackson, Schofield, who's been carrying an injury all week. Another big hit on Platt. Well, they single Platty out for some treatment here. Takes it on his own. Now Jackson. Jackson pulled down by Ridge, finished off by Dwayne Mann. Edwards finds Schofield. Schofield been nursing a little calf injury. Didn't train for the past 2 sessions. Didn't come out to warm up with the rest of the team, but looks okay.
That was an intelligent kip there by the British captain, but good play by the English forwards. Quick play of the ball, saw them get into the New Zealand quarter.
Big collision between Harrison and Pongia. No messing about today, shoulders going in all over the place. That's Brent Todd. Referee Bill Harrigan blows the whistle.
He's got Dennis Betts for going in on Todd. It was high, tempers are fraying. Schofield says calm things down, and rightly so. Oh brother, it's warm out there.
Gary Freeman winding his troops up. The last thing we want, Mike, is a test match to forget in terms of violence. We want a test match to remember.
Yes, I think the players will settle down eventually. There's a lot of nerves out there, a lot at stake. So important for Great Britain to win this afternoon, and of course equally so for the Kiwis.
That was an awful penalty from Matthew Ridge. The ball went backwards, and there's virtually no wind here in Auckland this afternoon. That's good tackling from Clark. Here's Stewart. It's a fiery opening between these two forward packs.
The thing that Great Britain must not do is get drawn into a tough game in the forwards. They have the speed out wide with Martin Offiah. They have to use him today.
Freeman. The ball downfield for Stedman. It's quite a slippy surface, but it's not rained here for a few days. And the Kiwis have pinned Stedman inside his own 22. obstruction. Referee waves play on. Now Harrison. It's 0-0. We've had 5 minutes of this second test. Edwards trying to run through Gary Freeman. Apologies for the slight break-up in pictures. Back home in England, it's a long, long way, don't forget. We're keeping you in touch here on Sky Sports with this, the last match of the British Lions tour down under this summer. Memorable in many ways, disappointing in many ways. A win here today, and it'll be one of the best tours in recent history. The British under so much pressure to come out and perform. Richie Blackmore now, Castleford and New Zealand. The only change Malcolm really made was on the substitutes bench. Lydon and Hume both carrying little niggling injuries, so they've been taken out of the squad. And of course, Carl Harrison coming into the pack. Stedman collects 10 metres from his own line. He has a fire with him. A fire trapped by Freeman.
Good play there by New Zealand. The kick and chase game was excellent, and that was high. That's a swinging arm from Brent Todd.
Edwards, Schofield, good ball, Connolly. There's plenty of space for Eastwood here. Cuts inside, tries to go through. But the referee, I think, has pulled it back anyway. Despite all the effort from Eastwood, it's a forward pass, I think.
That's right. But it must have been very marginal. The referee, of course, Bill Harrigan, a better position than what we were. But he says that this was a forward pass. It looked marginal, didn't it? But he's the man in charge. Eastwood, not too impressed.
Paul Eastwood under a bit of pressure after missing a couple of kicks last week. Once the kicks come, Eastwood will have the responsibility. Edwards getting stuck into Freeman. That's what he must do. Blackmore. Good tackling, Betts and Clark. Roommates on this tour, the Wigan pair. Big collision between Gavin Hill and Andy Platt. Ball's come free. Referee says, I think, knock on. Yes, knock on the decision. Scrum down, Britain's head and feet.
They're seeing the replay, the big second rower Hill did lose the ball. It was not reefed from him. Good refereeing by Bill Harrigan there.
And referee Harrigan holding the clock up. No one wanted to go and get the football. It's in the Kiwi half of the field, so Edwards trots back and picks it up. The 79th international between these two nations. Great Britain with 47 wins, New Zealand 28 after their narrow victory last week. Edwards drops it on the first tackle. Oh, pressure on the Wigan and Great Britain scrum half. Referee's whistle's gone. Tutor will have to bring it back.
That was an excellent tackle there on Edwards. Jolted the ball through. Schofield couldn't stoop down quick enough. Just a little knock on. The pressure now applied to Great Britain.
Martin Offiah needs some treatment to a head wound. I heard referee Harrigan say into the blood bin, so Offiah must have problems with a cut on the head. And so John Devereux will come on for Great Britain. Number 16, Devereux, at last he gets his opportunity in the tests. A reward for all the hard work the Welshman's put in. But it's only a blood bin substitution. Kiwis in possession with Clark. Freeman the dummy half. This is Todd. That's Tutor. He has Sean Hoppy outside him. Hoppy almost through. Devereux with the tackle. Good play. Freeman again. Now Gavin Hill. Dean Clark. Britain surrounding him. Halt him 10 metres short. That's how close the Kiwis are. Here's Pongia. Pongia driving a hole. Looking for support. Support not there. Freeman. Coming off once. Oh, great try. Gary Freeman. He stepped one way. Great Britain took the dummy. And Gary Freeman played the captain's part there. for the first try. 10 minutes on the watch. And Freeman celebrates his 31st cap.
This all came about by that mistake at the scrum by Great Britain. But the step inside Platin McGinty, good play by the Eastern Suburbs halfback. The New Zealand skipper just showed a little dummy. We held off, and that's enough to see the break. There you see it. Platin McGinty was taken through, too shallow. That was a good and well taken try.
Gary Freeman, 5 caps short of the all-time Kiwi record, held by Dane O'Hara, has put the Kiwis into the lead 4-0, and Matthew Ridge now has the opportunity to make it 6. He's a deadly kicker. New Zealand ahead, 6 points to 0, 11 minutes on the watch.
A dream start for the Kiwis. It's what they were looking for, something that we certainly didn't want. But the British boys, they'll be eager to bounce back. They realise that they were put under pressure by their own mistake. At this high level of football, it's all about taking your chances, and New Zealand did just that.
Well, our man on sideline today is Lee Crooks of Castleford and Great Britain. And Lee, New Zealand again off to a flying start.
Yes, Eddie. You know, that's definitely the start we didn't want to happen. After starting the game very well, I thought the intensity were tremendous from the boys. We've let them sort of come back with a try against the run of play, so hopefully we can step our game up and get back on the score sheet as soon as possible.
That's what they did at Palmerston North 7 days ago, of course. But of course, the Kiwis pinched the match. Great Britain really did take a defeat out of the jaws of victory 7 days ago. And they're up against it now. They're trailing by 6 points to 0, 12 minutes gone in this second test match. A vital game. Ridge hacks the ball downfield. That bounced off Philip Clark's chest. The referee says it's a knock-on, though.
Well, it's hard to define nowadays. Maybe another few feet forward. The referee might have classified it as a charge down. It's a little bit too far away, I feel.
Michael Jackson warming up. I wonder whether Malcolm Reilly will make an early change here. Michael Jackson on the bench. Straight through Connolly.
Well, there was a lot of doubt about Billy McGinty's fitness before this game.
Good tackling. That's great tackling by Betts and by Powell. Here's Stewart. Powell in the first man again. Oh, it's uncompromising stuff. Freeman just dabs the ball over the top. Stedman reads it perfectly. Gets away from one, but can't get away from Tony Kemp.
Wonderful positioning there by Stedman. You realise the danger of Freeman. Freeman really does have a good kicking game.
Can't really describe the atmosphere inside Carlisle Park today. Absolutely fantastic. The match being played in front of a capacity audience. And that just shows you the great strides the game has made here in New Zealand. The All Blacks, of course, first and foremost in this part of the world. But what great strides rugby league is making. McGinty with a wonderful break. No support. Great tackle, Ridge.
Well, it should be a penalty as well. Sean Edwards was held back. He was inside supporting McGinty. And referee Harrigan surely has to send someone to the sin bin. That's what the sin bin was brought in for that type of play. McGinty had made a wonderful break, was about to look on the inside, and Sean Edwards should have been there, but he was held back. You'll see it here. Look at that. Come on, referee. Send him to the sin bin.
Quentin Pongia, the man who perhaps has saved 4 points and got away scot-free. He's not in the bin, he's out there. Harrison barrels him to the floor, though. Jackson, now Edwards. And Schofield, Powell. The centre partnership of Darryl Powell and Gary Connolly under a bit of pressure today to create something out wide for margin of fire. He's not there at the moment. He's in the blood bin, but John Devereux is. And John Devereux wrestled to the floor by Kevin Iro. This now is Platt. Andy Platt dragging Great Britain towards those Kiwi posts. Edwards Schofield, the destroyer of New Zealand 2 years ago, Gary Schofield, trying to untangle himself from Gavin Hill. This is the last tackle. Edwards just hoists the little bomb, and Blackmore catches it. It was behind the try line, referee right. New Zealand will start with that tap on the 22. Blackmore again. Great Britain caught inside the 5. Things not going Great Britain's way.
No, but good play by the Kiwis. They threw the long ball, a quick tap on the 22. Caught Great Britain offside.
New Zealand 6, Great Britain 0. 15 minutes gone of this second test match in Auckland. Martin Offiah back with an eye injury, and it's been patched up. Here's Freeman. Oh, straight through 3. Support from Clark. Clark against the Great Britain defence. A try-saving tackle from Connolly. Britain is stretched here. Kemp's the dummy half. Freeman again. Great Britain have got to wake up to the danger that is Gary Freeman. Dwayne Mann. Now Tutor. Stewart. That's good interception from Schofield. Has the fitness been proved? It's Schofield. He's heading for the corner. Hoppy's after him, and Hoppy gets him.
Oh, wonderful play there by the skipper. But he just didn't have the speed. And the amazing thing about it, Martin Offiah got injured in the previous defensive effort down there on their own line. And you could see that both players were struggling.
So Great Britain on the charge with Lee Jackson. Jackson to Edwards. Edwards out to Stedman. Stedman cutting in field. Just halted by Quentin Pongia. Great Britain on the Kiwi 22 with Clark. Oh, juggling with it, taking the tackle from Brent Todd. Schofield going blind. Now Jackson. Edwards. Edwards, good tackling that by Mann, but he managed to get the ball to McGinty. Britain ever closer, thanks to that break from Schofield, who hoists the bomb. A tester for Ridge. It comes back on the British side, but Gavin Hill has it all wrapped up for the Kiwis.
Well, Great Britain did the right thing there. It was a good kick, plenty of height by Schofield. They tapped the ball back, but unfortunately for the British boys, the big second row, Hill was there. Oh, this is a rough and a tough one.
It's the 28th test match to be staged in Auckland between these two nations. It's being played in an electric atmosphere, and the players of both sides responding. It's quite a contest, isn't it?
It's all about composure from here on in. They have to try to keep thinking of playing football, not be niggled into silly mistakes.
Good hands from the Kiwis. Todd finds Hoppy. Hoppy tries to hack the ball forward. Bounces off a British player. There's Malcolm Reilly and Maurice Lindsay. They disagree with the decision from Bill Harrigan because it's the Kiwis' head and feet.
And so do I. There was no way in the world. Sean Hoppy just forced the ball, kicked it into the player. He made no attempt to grasp at it.
Malcolm Reilly feeling the pressure. New Zealand ahead, 6 points to 0. Coming up to 19 minutes gone. Iro. Good tackling, Powell. Great Britain just keeping the Kiwis at bay at the moment. Pongia. That's good play. Blackmore. Still Blackmore is through Eastwood. He's got Tutor. Tutor for the corner. No. Referee pulls them back. Forward pass, says Bill Harrigan. No try. But Tutor thought he was on his way to a 4-pointer here.
Well, it looked that way, didn't it? This was a lovely ball by Pongia, the second rower. Good defence by Edwards, but it was all to no avail. It was a forward pass. Harrigan was Johnny on the spot there. But I'm afraid the gaps are beginning to appear in the British defence. They'll have to plug them quickly.
Great Britain's head and feed then. Stedman fed by Edwards. Trying to run through Tutor. Tutor and Dwayne Mann bring him down. Two of the British-based players in this Kiwi side. Jackson clapping the hands. Platt. Good tackling that time from Gavin Hill.
That was interesting, Eddie. We saw Gary Schofield at that scrum drop back to full-back. Stedman came into the standoff position. That doesn't look for the Great Britain skipper Schofield.
Edwards has to run bravely at this Kiwi defence now. So too does Betts. Midway through this first half of the second test here in Auckland, New Zealand 6, Great Britain 0. Richie Blackmore has it for the Kiwis. Connolly and McGinty and then Eastwood. Referee though blows the whistle. I think it's a penalty to New Zealand for the late challenge.
He's penalised McGinty. I think he's got him for really trying to hold a man down. Bit of an inference of bringing the knee up there, but there you see he'd already called held. It's important, Eddie, that Great Britain recover their composure, get back into that game plan quickly. There's a lot of talk out there. The Kiwis are goading them.
Todd running strongly. Clark met him head on. Now Stewart. Connolly takes him downstairs. Black finishes him off. 3-2 the penalty count in New Zealand's favour. 6-0 on the scoreboard in New Zealand's favour. Todd carrying the battle forward for the Kiwis. Dean Clark. The runner arrives. It's Gavin Hill. Freeman trying to dictate the pace and pattern. Through to get Freeman. Great play. Kent has Dwayne Mann with it. Roared on by this crowd. Freeman running the show again. Oh, bad mistake from Tutor. The ball went back though, but just for a moment, Great Britain can breathe again as Tutor takes them off. It was on the last tackle. It's the turnover.
A bad mistake there by Britain in defence, and also a bad mistake by the Kiwis. They didn't realise they should have done better with that. It was the last tackle, but didn't we hold off then? We've got to shut down Freeman.
Well, a great contest this. The next contest, by the way, on Sky Sports will be the Charity Shield from Gateshead on August the 23rd. The start of our exclusive coverage of the British Rugby League scene. I hope you're going to join us Fridays and Sundays in the winter ahead. As Schofield tries to feed a fire, he's giving it to Hoffey. Hoffey, oh, through the two of them. Hoffey try. What a catastrophe for Britain. What woeful defence. And what an awful pass from Gary Schofield. New Zealand 10, Great Britain 0, and Britain have fallen for the sucker punch. Sean Hoffey, what a season he's having.
Well, the long pass by Schofield. Hoppy was in there amongst it. He came in and took the gamble. It could have been a try at the other end. If the ball could have gone out wide, the less said about that attempted tackle, the better. There you see, they've both taken the one option. He comes inside. He should have been forced out to the corner at least. Edwards too late. And the Canberra winger, look at that, with ease. We are in trouble. The Kiwis are flying. And once again, we suffer from one of our own mistakes.
Sean Hoppy of the Canberra Raiders. His debut season in the Winfield Cup. He's having a marvellous season in Sydney and in Canberra and in Brisbane. Wherever rugby league's played across the Tasman, Hoppy is the name they're talking about. And Hoppy, the name they're talking about here in Auckland this afternoon. Ridge fails this time. Great Britain are struggling. New Zealand 10 points. Great Britain 0. And Lee Crooks, where can we get the comeback from?
And I think that for us to get back into the game, we've got to try and slow them down. That means slowing them down at the marker and just slowing their play down altogether. And we've got to shut Freeman down. Freeman's actually dictating a lot of the play for them now and causing us all sorts of problems.
Howie Tamati, the New Zealand coach, a 100% record. I fancy he can't believe what he's seeing either. 10 points to 0, his team ahead, and the caption on your screen while Lee Crooks talk, 10 missed tackles for Great Britain. That really says it all, 10-4.
Yeah, it's a lot of problems out there, and once again we see Freeman, he's just ripping us to ribbons.
Iro unloads the pass. It's Dean Clark, now it's Dwayne Mann. Well, Great Britain have got to get to grips with Gary Freeman. He really is running the show. Stewart. This new-look Kiwi side, though, under their new coach, Howie Tamati. 2 victories and 10 points to the good here against Great Britain. And over 25 minutes of this first half gone. Freeman again. Look at the time he has. Picks his spot and picks out Paul Eastwood. Well, there was an attempted trip there, it looked like, from Kemp. Eastwood had boxed him. Kemp stuck a leg out. But Connolly has it now for Great Britain.
They need a lot of grit and determination now, the British boys. Schofield has to lead by example. The forwards have to get into it, do more work, and not make mistakes like that.
Kiwis really are on a roll here. And Great Britain have got to get to grips with this. The tackling in the forwards is ferocious, and perhaps we're going to see Michael Jackson before too long. Stedman's trapped. That was on the last tackle. That was poor play. Stedman had no alternative. He couldn't get out of the way of the tacklers. So here come the Kiwis again with Pongia.
It wasn't the quick enough play of the balls, was it?
This is Todd. Back inside to Freeman. Freeman tackle standing up. Now Tutor. The Kiwis getting ever closer to that British line. That's just how close they are. No try. Knock on, says the referee. Britain breathe a sigh of relief.
And a relief it should be, because Brendan Tutor took the option there. Kicked the ball over at the play of the ball. There you see him. We didn't even have a marker there. And we were very lucky to get away with that.
To Great Britain.
And Great Britain are making a substitution. Billy McGinty's tour is over.
Michael Jackson.
And Michael Jackson comes on. So McGinty, a fitness doubt all week, replaced after 27 minutes. Interesting statistics.
Well, obviously the gamble that Malcolm really had with Billy McGinty has not paid off. There was doubt right up until yesterday about his fitness. But what a great chance for Michael Jackson to make an international name for himself. He's the type of player that Britain needs to make those breaks out wide and get Britain back into this game.
His tour started disastrously with that 4-match ban, but he had a 2-try test debut against PNG last November. If ever a time was there for a player to repeat that sort of form as he goes in for his first tackle, this is it. Stewart now for the Kiwis. Bone-shuddering collisions between the forwards, Stewart and Harrison that time. Here's Todd, now Freeman. Great Britain close him down at last. Kemp dabs the ball through, it bounced off Jackson. It's 6-4 to New Zealand. Hoppy.
It's important now that our boys really get themselves together. Make sure that they don't let in another try in these final 10 minutes of the first half. At least it will give Malcolm time to readdress the situation at the half-time break.
10 minutes to half-time. New Zealand 10 points. Great Britain 0. Freeman and now Hill. Mann brings it back inside for Freeman again. He downs it forward. Oh, well swept up by Stedman. Stedman dropped it. Connolly picks up the pieces. It's a knock-on though. Oh, Stedman did everything right. Then he lost the ball in the tackle and more pressure for Great Britain. And look at the face on Malcolm Reilly.
Yeah, it says it all, doesn't it? Freeman had all the time in the world. Remember the pass before that. The Kiwi was going to go onto the blind side. We are not moving up. Steadman jolted out. It was great positioning by Graham Steadman to save the try there, but we are just allowing Freeman to run riot.
10-0, the Kiwis lead. They're 10 metres short with Clark. Now Freeman again. Connolly was just there to put him off and delay him for a moment. Jackson finished the job off. Here's Todd, Brent Todd! Oh, just about a metre short. Well, Great Britain in tatters at the moment. Tongia, they're really having problems in keeping New Zealand out. Stewart, they miss him out and find Freeman. Now Clark, and Clark has the time to look and go on his own. Schofield and Harrison bring him down.
Good tackle there, Eddie, by Harrison. It had to be. They had the numbers out wide.
Tutor dabs the ball forward. Eastwood simply shovels it dead. The pressure from New Zealand, it's quite amazing.
Amazing indeed, but they're doing everything right, aren't they? When they get to the final tackle, late in the tackle count, they're using the little kick through intelligent. But I tell you what, if we do not shut down this Freeman, we could well be on our way to a little bit of an embarrassing score.
Steadman with the dropout from underneath the posts. Great Britain must remember 2 years ago they clinched the series here with a 16-14 win. But this is a different Kiwi side under Howie Tamati, and they're rolling forward again with Hill.
That looked a bit forward to me.
Now Brent Todd. Ridge has joined the line. So many of these players are straight from the Winfield Cup. They know what intensity's all about. Really putting Great Britain to the sword. Not playing the ball properly. Penalty to Great Britain on their own try line. Again, another huge sigh of relief.
Indeed, but that was good defence. Scrambling defence by Britain. They really had to pull out all the stops there. Let's hope Lady Luck can just shine our way a little bit. It's important that we hang on now to the half-time break, sort things out. There's the replay of it, no doubt about it. Ridge never getting his foot to the ball.
Apologies again for the loss in pictures at times back home in the UK. This is Sky Sports, exclusively live with the British Lions in New Zealand as Darryl Powell comes forward and finds Connolly. Powell again in a dummy half. Oh, that's a good dummy. Clark was in support. Powell took it on his own. New Zealand 37 tackles in the British half of the field. Look at the British figure. There's the problem. But here's the break from Betts to Jackson. Jackson! Try! Lee Jackson! His first try on this tour. It couldn't have come at a better moment. The man who's replaced Martin Dermott, the supporting act supreme to Dennis Betts' break, and Lee Jackson over, and that's just what the doctor ordered as we approach half-time.
What a wonderful pass by Schofield. Edwards, look how he holds the ball up here. Draws in the man, and Betts strides through. Keeps calm, Drew Matthew Ridge, and this is what a hooker is supposed to do. Support play, excellent play. Jackson, look at the determination. He knew exactly what was on. He drew the fullback Ridge. Go, go, Jackson, go. Boy, we needed that so badly. What a great fight back. What a great run. Wonderful pass from Schofield started it. And the hooker, number 9, finished it.
Great try from Lee Jackson. Before the match, chatting to us, he asks us to pass on his good wishes and love to his wife Kerry and son James, and he says he loves them both and he'll see them on Tuesday, and after that try, well, he'll have a good journey home. Well done, Lee Jackson. And can Paul Eastwood make it a whole double act and slot this conversion over? Eastwood, leading point scorer on this 1992 tour. He adds 2 more. Britain are back in it.
New Zealand 10, Great Britain 6. The whole double act has done the trick for Great Britain, and Lee Crooks, things looking better, 5 minutes to half-time.
Yeah, that's just the boost we needed coming up to half-time, Eddie. Tremendous run from Dennis Betts, and as you said before, brilliant backing up from Lee. I think that, we've really got to try and control the ball a lot more towards the end of the half, and especially in the second half, and if we do that and put a lot of pressure on the Kiwis in their 25, then I think, we'll come out winning the game.
Optimism from Lee Crooks, you'd expect nothing else from him. Optimism now spreading through the British ranks. 10-6. The margin has been cut to 4 points, and after we've been, and I must say it, outplayed for much of this first half play, it's not a bad scoreline.
No, they'll be very pleased to go in at the break, especially their coach Malcolm, really. Oh, that's a bad mistake. It's all about taking those chances. We certainly did. A few seconds before, it was the hero. Now he's the villain. Just a little bit of lack in concentration there. But getting back to the half-time break, I'm sure Malcolm really will get things organised. And it showed there that lovely pass by Schofield, that they can create the gaps if they play the type of football that we know they can play.
Harrigan wanted a word with Jackson. He threw the ball away in disgust after his mistake. Kiwis have it from the scrum. Not a knock-on, says the referee. They can carry on with Kemp. Kemp, big man. Stopped by Connolly, who really has come of age on this tour, Gary Connolly. There he is again. Now it's Tutor. He's through Schofield. Powell and Connolly stop him. Bring him to the ground eventually. Brent Todd. Kiwis looking for the try. Clark, Kemp again. Iro in support. Good tackling, Jackson. Finished off by Eastwood.
Oh, what a great tackle. A combination. And that's the reason why he's groggy. He doesn't know where he is. Jackson low. Eastwood went high. Woof. They hurt.
It looks like he's twisted his ankle. He receives treatment. Play continues. Great take, Stedman. That was where Britain were found wanting a week ago. Stedman then plucked that ball out of the air.
If ever you need a confidence boost, it's when your fullback takes a kick like that. No one was going to stop him from accepting that ball.
What a great ball, what a great run from Harrison, I was about to say, and then he dropped the ball. Iro is limping off as you watch this. 2 minutes of ordinary time in this first half remaining. 10-6, the Kiwis lead. And Kevin Iro off and injured. No replacement as yet. This now is Pongyao. Britain having to work really hard.
Number 16, Tia Ropati.
And Ropati has come on. So St. Helens Tia Ropati's on, and Kevin Iro is off. Injured. Tutor just clings on. Gets the ball out the back door. He's given it to Afire. Now Afire. This is the moment. Ball after him. He's stepped in touch. Martin Afire has stepped in touch again. He did it in Sydney under pressure from Ettinghausen. And he's done it today under no pressure at all.
Well, he can't believe it. Another can I. Well, it's a pretty fine margin. That guy waving the flag has got brilliant eyesight.
Well, the touch judge absolutely on the spot. I think he did actually touch the whitewash.
I'm not a mathematician, but I tell you what, Eddie, that must have been 1,000th of an inch.
The British bench watching on as this scrum is awarded just inside the British half of the field. A Close fought test match this, just as all the recent matches between these two have been. Right on half-time, New Zealand ahead, 10-6. Freeman in possession, Betts driving him back.
It's been wonderful play these last 15 minutes by Great Britain. At a time when it looked as though they were on the rack, they have not thrown the towel in, they've bounced back. Their defence has tightened.
That was high from Jackson on Pongia. Pongia ran through it though. Oh, a little knock on Dwayne Mann. A moment's waving of concentration by the Warrington hooker. Britain off the hook.
Bad mistake by the hooker there. There we see Iro being taken from the field. That is a big blow to the Kiwis, but that will help our cause.
The short pass from Schofield was a dangerous one. Pongia swept on it. Hill keeps the movement going with Ridge. Schofield trying to find Stedman, only found the Kiwi instead. Now Freeman, that's off the arm of Dennis Betts, and Martin Offiah picks up the pieces and takes the tackle.
Well done there by Offiah. That was bouncing down on him.
This is the last tackle. Connolly trying to get out of trouble. Gary Connolly. Connolly eventually has to take the tackle. Oh, there's a real blue on now. They're all getting involved. It's been on the boil. It's been simmering away from the very first whistle. Howie Tamati, the Kiwi coach, watching. They weren't happy with the challenge on Gary Connolly. The referee has blown the half-time whistle. He will no doubt perhaps take a bit of action. It is half-time, but Bill Harrigan wants a word with a couple of the players. Hoppy and Tia Rapati have headed for the dressing room.
He's calling them back. Now, it's all right, but Connolly was trying to still get moved. There must have been 3 or 4 Kiwis came high at him. Why the referee didn't shout hell? If he did, then it should be a penalty to Great Britain. He allowed things to go far too long there in my book.
Having his half-time cup of tea. Referee Harrigan talking to Brent Todd and Gary Schofield. It's half-time. No action taken, but New Zealand ahead here at Carlisle Park by 10 points to 6. They've scored 2 tries to Great Britain's 1, but there are signs there that Great Britain can come back in the second half and round this 1992 off in grand style. 10-6 at half-time.
Hello, welcome back to live and exclusive coverage of Great Britain against New Zealand, the second test. Great Britain 1-0 down after the first test a week ago. This is the scoreline at half-time. Great Britain 6, New Zealand 10. New Zealand 10 points to 0 in front at one stage. The tries from Gary Freeman and Sean Hoppy. The 1 goal from Matthew Ridge. For Great Britain, the try came from Lee Jackson. The goal from Paul Eastwood. Well, let's go back to New Zealand. Our commentary team out there. Lee Crooks on sideline. And our main men, Mike Stevenson and Eddie Hemmings.
Welcome back to Carlisle Park. The terrace is packed to capacity for this second test match, and there is a man who has run the show in the first half, Gary Freeman, the New Zealand captain, issuing the last-minute instructions as we await to get this second half underway. New Zealand ahead by 10 points to 6, and Ridge, well, he hasn't been a handful for the Ponds. It's been Gary Freeman, Mike, who's run the show.
Yes, I'm sure that Malcolm really would have told the boys to shut the man down. We really have not applied enough pressure onto him.
Stedman gets the last 40 minutes of this 1992 Lions tour underway, and what a vital 40 minutes it promises to be. There's the Great Britain tackle count, 118, Platt, Betts and Clark. The Wigan trio leading the way. New Zealand with 98 tackles, Stewart, Todd and Hill.
I think we'll see a different team from Britain in the second stanza. I'm sure that Malcolm will have them fired up, and I think we'll find that Schofield will drift out wide a little bit more, but we've got to run a little bit more from dummy half. We've got to put more pressure in.
Well, let's see what Malcolm Reilly's been telling the boys, because Lee Crooks has been inside that dressing room. Lee, what's the instructions for the second half?
Well, Malcolm wants us to have a very good kicking game. We've got to get good field position and put the Kiwis under pressure. He wants us to be patient and not try and push the ball. Our ball control's got to be excellent, and I think if we can do that, then, as I said before, we probably come away with winning the game.
Howie Tamati, the Kiwi coach, watching on as the tackle jolted the ball out of Michael Jackson's hands. Incidentally, one of the features of this 1992 tour has been all the messages we've sent home from the players. Try and get a couple more in as this second half unfolds, because everyone will be on the plane tomorrow. Tira Party in possession, though, for the Kiwis. This now is Gavin Hill. Schofield takes him almost. Offiah finishes the job off. Now Tom. Great Britain then having to defend stoutly. As the Kiwis have come out, they must be fired up as well. Great Britain looking down the barrel of their first whitewash in a series since 1984. Kemp brought to the ground. Ridge the dummy half. Stewart head bandaged at the start of this second 40.
The Kiwis will be quite content to use the tactics they used in the first half. That's Freeman controlling things, using the big forwards.
Here he is again, Gary Freeman, tackled by Connolly, who felt that. Connolly stayed down. Oh, and he's all right. He was up on his feet as the ball was moved away. Here's a tester for Steadman. Steadman's missed it. Freeman picks up, but the referee has given Great Britain a penalty, tackling the man without the ball.
No doubt about it. Brendan Tuta didn't go for the ball at all. Took the man out. You'll see here on the replay, Tuta comes into the picture.
Great Britain had numbers back to help Graham Steadman out on that occasion, something they didn't do last week.
Well, it proved a costly mistake in that Palmerston North test.
Britain in possession with Andy Platt. Now Lee Jackson, score of the try. Gary Connolly. Almost away from Tuta, but not quite. Brought down by Dwayne Mann.
We have to shift this ball out wide. The forward pack of Kiwis have been very strong indeed. The gaps will come just off the rucks.
Harrison. That's a good run from the big man. Britain. Watched by Malcolm Reilly. This is Schofield. Steadman. Oh, lovely run from Steadman. He just couldn't get the ball back inside to Connolly, to Schofield. That was a great tackle by Ridge. Edwards dabs the ball over the top looking for a fire. Hoppy drops it and gets it second attempt, but it's a knock-on, and Great Britain will have head and feed. Offiah putting Hoppy under pressure.
Well, it's all about pressure, isn't it, in this game now? And Great Britain showed the skills that they have. Schofield, the little dummy through, Steadman coming through, he's coming into the line, he's got the speed. They've got to use him even more.
Here's Schofield again. Powell was the decoy run. Here's Offiah. A bit of speed from Offiah, perhaps. We had Eastwood screaming for the ball out wide. Offiah clung on. Eventually had to take the tackle. Offiah drifting in field. This is Connolly. Now Schofield. Looking for the long pass out to Betts. Betts! Dennis Betts! Try! Great Britain back on terms! And Dennis Betts, the test match specialist when it comes to scoring tries, has done it again. He's played in all three tests, or in Australia, 2 over here, and he's come up with the try again.
A lovely long ball from the skipper, Schofield. The man out wide, they had the numbers. Ridge had no chance stopping Betts. And we have produced more enterprise in the first 2 minutes of this half than we have for the 2 tests in New Zealand. We really have shown what skill is all about. That was a lovely ball. The strength of Betts picks up the 4 points. But really, haven't we come out with all guns blazing? A little run around, a little dummy, the switch of play, and then the long ball out wide.
Dennis Betts, a try here in 1990 against the Kiwis when he really did come of age as a Great Britain international. His first try since the opening match of the tour way back in May against Highland Zone in Goroka. So one at the start, one at the finish for Dennis Betts, and Britain level now at 10-all, and Paul Eastwood will take his time. He knows how important this kick is. Great kick from Paul Eastwood. Look at the delight. Look at the determination. The Union Jacks are flying here in Auckland. Great Britain hit the front for the first time. They lead by 12 points to 10. No emotion on Malcolm Reilly's face, but I fancy plenty of emotion on Lee Crooks' face.
Well, yes, Eddie, that try actually resulted from the previous set of 6 tackles, I think. We controlled the ball very well for 6 tackles and put a good kick in at the end of that, and that resulted in us getting the head and feed from the scrum. And as I say, if you keep the team under pressure in their 25, we're going to find gaps, and that's what happened.
Look at the way Jackson's running strongly. That's Michael Jackson, Lee Jackson, the hooker at dummy half. This is much better from Great Britain. Ahead 12-10. 7 minutes of this second half gone.
And there you see in the background the second rower, Gavin Hill, the New Zealand big fellow. Someone called for him. He's in Disneyland.
It was Jackson who ran strongly, ran straight through Hill, and that's why he's receiving the treatment now. This is Lee Jackson. The New Zealanders all over Jackson like a rash. Steadman plants the ball downfield. Difficult one for Matthew Ridge, this. British chasers have arrived. Connolly, having a fine game, young Gary Connolly.
That was good chasing by our boys there, but a magnificent kick by Graham Steadman. As Lee Crooks mentioned, Malcolm wanted a very strong kicking game in this second stanza. And now we've got our noses in front. I'm sure we'll see plenty of the kick downfield.
As I say, the Jumbo Jets will be heading back for Great Britain tomorrow with these players on board. While New Zealand are in possession, let's get one of the messages away to John Devereux's wife Alison and all the family, and Jessica. He's looking forward to seeing you all on Tuesday morning when the plane touches down in Manchester. Another Kiwi limping off injured. It's Gavin Hill. He still hasn't recovered from that big hit from Michael Jackson. And 17, Mark Woods, preparing to come on.
That'll be a big blow to the Kiwis. He was one of their star players.
Betts with the run finds a fire. He gives it to Schofield. Great Britain suddenly are keeping this ball alive.
Well, they learned a lesson, didn't they, in the first 40 minutes, to keep the ball and go out wide rather than go down the middle.
Edwards with the kick ahead, the chase, and Ridge picks up brilliantly. Oh, that's great fullback play from Matthew Ridge. Through another tackle. Wonderful stuff from the Manly fullback. Now Woods on for Hill. Mark Woods from the Upper Hutt Club. If coaches are watching back home in Great Britain, here's a young man looking for a start in the British game.
That was tremendous play there by Matthew Ridge. He put his body on the line to drop onto that loose ball.
Tutor. Over the top. Steadman has it. Gets away from Tutor first time. Couldn't get through Woods though. And Tutor finished the job off. Edwards to Connolly. The busiest tourist, Gary Connolly. This his 13th appearance of this 17-match tour that at the moment is going Great Britain's way. 10 minutes of this second half gone. Britain have edged ahead for the first time. 12-10.
That's a type of running from Platt. The forwards are running now.
Jackson. Oh, the pass was aimed for Steadman. Todd read it perfectly, and he's given it to Rapati. What a good contest this is. The Kiwis unable to produce consecutive winning matches since that 1984 series against Great Britain. They're now staring down the barrels of defeat here in Auckland. Britain aiming to stop the 2-0 whitewash. Kiwis in possession with Todd. Freeman organising and in possession now. Great Britain have to close him down. Woods. Oh, and Freeman there to pick up the pieces. It'll be 6 more. Yet more pressure. Freeman got down to that knockback from Schofield brilliantly. This is Stewart. Jackson strong in the tackle. That's how close New Zealand are. Tuta. Roars of Kiwi all round this ground. As Pongia comes forward again, Britain's smother defence standing up to the task well. 9 metres short of the line. Freeman, Clark, dabs the ball forward. Edwards gets to it first. Whoa, but only just as Rapati closed in.
That nearly was a 4-pointer there, a little bit of a mix-up. Clark put the kick through. It didn't look as though anything was on. Afire looked to be leaving it. Edwards was the Johnny on the spot, and he gets his foot to it.
And Rapati almost in. Well, hope you're enjoying this back home. This is a foretaste of what we have for you on Sky Sports in the winter ahead. Friday night big league football. Sunday afternoon it'll be shown on Sky. Sunday night, contests like this all the way with players like Rapati. Wonderful run from the St Helens centre. Dwayne Mann of Warrington. Brent Todd. Afire has him. So too Powell. Kiwis 3 metres from the line. Freeman. Back to Woods. Good run from Woods. Britain just closed the door with Edwards and Clark. Freeman again. Rapati, good tackling.
Oh, tremendous tackling stint by Britain there.
Freeman again on his own. Just dabs the ball forward. The defence of Marshall. And Andy Platt, the man who dropped on it inevitably.
Oh, full praise indeed to the British boys there. They scrambled back. The defence was perfect, especially from that man who was about to get up and play the ball.
17 is Carl Furbank. Great Britain are about to make a change. Furbank with his strong runs in the second row could be vital as this match now moves towards the quarter of an hour gone in this second half mark. Great Britain 12, Kiwis 10. Jackson, that's a great run over the top for Eastwood. Eastwood cuts inside Blackmore. Good tackling from Pongia and Dwayne Mann. Schofield. Edwards. Powell to Betts. Britain stopped on halfway.
Well, there you see the tactics again, trying to get this ball out wide. And it will pay off. These big Kiwi forwards will be sucking in the breath as the game goes on.
We might well have expected a close encounter here. In the past 5 tests, there's been no more than 4 points between these two sides. New Zealand have come again as a rugby league nation. Great Britain, they're already after the Ashes series. And this is the match that will determine just how successful the Lions tour will go down in history as. Furbank will come on for Michael Jackson. Jackson must have taken a bang. He's run hard and strong since he came on.
Well, he obviously must have gone off with that injury because he just made a vital break that sent Eastwood away.
Now Steadman, got to get out of trouble. Good run, Steadman. Well tackled Freeman with a bit of help from Kemp. Steadman didn't like it.
He's had a big game, Eddie, as Graham Steadman. His positional play has been excellent.
Some suggestion, Mike, that last week the intensity wasn't there for this series against New Zealand. I think you'll have to whisper it carefully in the hotel tonight as a fire goes round the referee. And Ridge, a fire! Martin, a fire! Magnificent! Brilliant try, Martin, a fire! His 7th try on this tour. And Martin, a fire there, showed a clean pair of heels, not only to the Kiwi defence, but also to match referee Bill Harrigan. He had to get round him too.
Oh, wonderful play. Powell kept the ball alive. And even Martin Offiah, I think he's running on 3rd gear. He didn't get into overdrive until just about now. He looked as though he was going to be run down, but that extra speed paid off in the end. Nice little step, but Powell kept the ball alive. Offiah used the referee quite well there. He looked round the step away, in and out. The relief is wonderful. That's great play. Nice step. Here it comes, top gear now. And that could well be the match winner. Great try to Offiah.
What a record in test matches Martin Offiah has. That's his 24th touchdown in 26 tests. Quite magnificent. A well-deserved swig of the magic water for Martin Offiah. Over in front of the sticks. And Paul Eastwood, as the ball falls over, the referee will hold up the clock again. But Eastwood with this conversion attempt to push Great Britain's lead to 8 points. Quickly, the last message home from Kevin Ellis to his brother Carl in Bridgend. It's his 12th birthday on Thursday. Happy birthday, Carl, from Kevin. Kevin heading to Australia tomorrow for a holiday. All the best to friends and family in Wales and Warrington. He'll see you when he gets home sometime next month. Again, the ball falls over.
But he can't blame time wasting now from Eastwood. The ball just went over. The relief on Offiah's face says it all. But wonderful play by Great Britain. They fought back tenaciously in the second half.
But a long, long way to go yet, Mike. Only 18 minutes plus whatever's being added on for this delay.
Don't worry, Great Britain are fully aware of that. They realise that's what happened in the first test at Palmerston North.
Concentration then from Eastwood. The easiest kick he's had. It's 3 out of 3. New Zealand 10, Great Britain 8. Martin Offiah with a super try. Lee Crooks, it's looking better and better.
Yes, Eddie, we're really reaping the rewards now for the way we've controlled the ball in the second half. We said that, you know, Graham Steadman had to have a good kicking game, and that's what he's done. As I say, we're putting pressure on the New Zealand side at most opportunities that we've got the ball. So if we can carry on controlling the ball like we are doing, then I feel very confident that we'll definitely win the game.
The margin is 8 points. New Zealand 10, Great Britain 18.
And full credit to that man in your picture, Malcolm Reilly. He certainly sorted things out at the half-time break. He realises that there was no way down this middle against this big pack. Get the ball out wide, the gaps will appear, and that is what is occurring.
Hope you're enjoying this test match. It really is, for us on Sky, the hors d'oeuvre before the main course next winter back home. Don't forget, join us on Sky for the very best in rugby league every week. Friday nights live, Sunday evenings matches as live, Monday nights for boots and all. If you're a rugby league fan, you've got to get Sky. This is Richie Blackmore, one of the stars we'll be seeing next season with Castleford.
It's an important period now for Great Britain not to lose their composure. They have that vital 8-point lead. They really have got to start getting the salt out now, start rubbing it into this wound and look for even more points.
15 is Mike Kuiti. As Eastwood was taking that conversion attempt, he came on. So Mike Kuiti of Rochdale, formerly with Swinton and Leeds, is on to help the Kiwi cause. This now is Clark, and this is Tony Kemp. Midway through this half. Little knock on from Gary Freeman. Suddenly, Great Britain are putting pressure on Freeman, and the chinks in Freeman's armour are becoming apparent.
My word, it's all about that pressure. You've got to really get up to him very quickly. They allowed him a lot of latitude in that first half. But also Great Britain are getting those first tackles down. New Zealand aren't releasing the ball in the tackle as they were in that first half.
Steadman has had a fine game today, the British fullback. Drop balls have been more prevalent on the British side, but it's 18-10 to Great Britain. We have less than 19 minutes of this 1992 tour to go. Betts running strongly. Schofield in a dummy half. Harrison the decoy. Edwards and Schofield. Now it's with Furbank. Furbank through one, through two. Support arrived from Jackson. He almost got it to him. And Freeman just picked up the loose ball. So close.
The chance was there. Jackson in support. Perhaps Fairbank would have been better to go to ground with it. But the chances was there. The gaps are appearing now. The forwards are running at angles. Schofield is getting more into the game, as is Edwards.
Great tackle from Clark, that. And Britain now really do look eager. They really want to win this test match. On the rack in the first half, but now they've got the bit between their teeth. Freeman. Well, he's gone down. Touch judge thought about it for a moment, put his flag down as Steadman collected. Now Eastwood. Steadman took a heavy bang from Kemp. Eastwood again.
That was a pretty late attempt by Kemp on Steadman.
Furbank.
And there you see Freeman, Eddie. He's starting to lose his cool. That'll go through the Kiwi camp.
Malcolm really watching on, knowing his Great Britain side is on the verge of going down in history as one of the most successful tours. If they can cling on to this 8-point win, if they can score another try here. 8 points, the difference. 10 for New Zealand, 18 Great Britain. Betts in possession for the British. Powell through, but straight to Freeman. Now Rapati. The Kiwis in the ground get to their feet as Rapati gives it to Hoppy. Good cover defence from Steadman, from Jackson and Edwards. The ball not played properly, but Edwards all over Hoppy as he tried to play that ball. Penalty to the Kiwis.
They were trying to keep the play down. New Zealand on a little bit of a roll there. Hoppy trying quickly to get up to his feet. New Zealand realise now that in that danger area where they've got to play catch-up football, take the gamble.
Dwayne Mann of Warrington, regarded as one of the best hookers in the world, but Great Britain have a fellow called Lee Jackson who's impressed today. Clark, that's good tackling again. The big game Harrison's had, and he came out here as a replacement, remember, did Carl Harrison for Ian Lucas.
Yes, the front row really have worked tirelessly, haven't they? They've got into it in attack and defence. They've produced some big hits.
Sure have. In a real contest, Edwards and Freeman scrapping for that loose ball, even though the referee has blown the whistle for this scrum. Kemp, that's good tackling. Clark was in support though. Connolly had Clark. Now Ridge. The fullback's always dangerous when he chimes into the line. It was a good tackle from Schofield. That was a good tackle from Jackson on Todd. It's not over yet. Darryl Halligan preparing to come on.
Well, those Kiwis must be sick and tired of seeing Lee Jackson go around the ankles.
Quarter of an hour of the match left. New Zealand 10, Great Britain 18. The Kiwis
coming ever closer to the British danger zone. Now it's with Kuwaiti. Takes play into the British quarter, but it was on the last tackle. It's the turnover. Good defence again.
Good defence, but a bad mistake again by the Kiwis. They really lost control there. They should have opted for the kick, applied the pressure. They're just losing their composure as the minutes tick away.
The New Zealand coach, Howie Tamati, was in that 1984 side that inflicted the 3-0 defeat against Great Britain. He was hoping to make it a double act for himself today, with Great Britain in determined mood and in possession now with Clark. Backpedaling for much of that first half, went 10-0 down, but now lead 18 points to 10. And Schofield kicking. The ball won't find touch. Ridge will have to pick it up, and he'll have to go round to Fire and Powell, and he can't. Hoppy, good tackling of Fire, wrestling him to the floor. Freeman, shirt now outside the shorts. Freeman means business. He's in possession. Blackmore, well taken by Kemp. Support arrives from Blackmore again. Great tackle. It was Clark who got the tackle in. Blackmore somehow stayed in the field of play.
Oh, wonderful play from both sides, in attack and defence.
Schofield got to that. Offside against Great Britain. Right in front of the post.
Bill Harrigan allowing the advantage to go there, and when Schofield punched the ball down, no option but to give the penalty.
New Zealand will run it then. Ridge finds touch. Big effort wanted here from Great Britain in defence again. There's Howie Tamati on his feet, urging his players on. Todd, tackled by Clark. Stewart. They're getting closer and closer. That's the Great Britain line. This is Pongia. Britain smother the man in possession with the ball. Todd coming back on the blind side. Gets the ball out. Eastwood to it first.
Good eager play there by Eastwood. Some strong defence. It looks like Harrison has caught an injury. He was going into the tackle.
Great Britain at the wrong end of the field. They mustn't make a mistake now. Keep hold of the ball. Great run, Betts.
He's worked hard as Betts in the second half. Some runs out wide. It's made him world famous.
That's Carl Furbank. This is Lee Jackson, and that's Andy Platt. Last tackle. Back to Stedman, the left foot. There's Darrell Halligan, the one-point hero from Palmerston North a week ago. Here's Ridge, the man he replaced.
Oh, they're really working for each other now, the British boys. Tackling their hearts out.
Pongia, over halfway. Stewart. Coming up to half an hour on my watch, plus any stoppages. There'll be quite a bit of that as Kemp gets the ball in field. What a solid challenge that was. It was Andy Platt's tackle on Rapati as that ball is hacked downfield. Stedman under pressure, but he comes up with the ball, and that's so important.
Once again, he was there in the right position. He really has read this game well.
Now Darrell Powell, through one, through two. Great Britain on the charge with Edwards. Edwards hacks it for Fire. Was impeded surely by Gary Freeman. Referee unimpressed. Freeman rushed straight across a Fire then as he went for that.
Good thinking by Edwards. He realised he didn't have the speed. A Fire was close to him, opted to take the kick, and as you mentioned, Freeman just threw himself across the fire. There, you can see it on the replay. Referee Harrigan having none of it.
Blackmore, oh, that looked like obstruction. This now is Kemp. Good play, Great Britain. Schofield, the captain, leading by example. There he is again. This is a good performance by Great Britain, Mike. They've come off the canvas and they really have taken this game to the Kiwis.
Oh, plenty of pride. They can feel proud of themselves with this second half performance.
Freeman again, he's always a danger. Kuwaiti. And again, Kuwaiti just couldn't get to that. I think it was a forward pass anyway. It was on the last tackle. It's the handover.
Far too much pressure being applied to the Kiwis. They're on the backward step now. They're looking for men coming at them in the tackle. The confidence has gone. Ours is building. And it wouldn't surprise me to see more points.
Betts has had a big game today. All the forward pack has. Edwards to Powell. And Newlove is about to come on. Paul Newlove of Featherstone Rovers about to come on for Carl Harrison. As a fire saw a little opening. Tried to go through it. Just hauled back. Here's Platt. Britain in numbers up there with Betts.
Watch out for a move now. Maybe the little switcher play to the blind or the run round.
Back to Schofield. Drop goal attempt from Schofield. Referee gives it. It crept over. It's a one-pointer. The gap's 9. And Britain breathe a little easier. Gary Schofield just clenches the fist. That's the determination. That's the spirit that's running through this side right now.
And also the importance of having a very clever skipper on the field. Did you notice how far back he took himself? Gave the Kiwi defence no chance to apply that pressure. And a well-taken one-pointer.
So Schofield makes it 19, Great Britain, New Zealand 10. On my watch, we're inside the last 10 minutes as Harrison takes a well-earned break. Paul Newlove's on, and about time I think that we can maybe reflect on this 1992 tour. But looks, let's not count our chickens, but looks like it's going to end successfully. Let's talk to Lee Crooks. Lee, what will the boys take home from this test match, from this tour, as they go into the domestic season back home?
Well, the main thing that they're going to take back is the experience of playing in a top-class game, both the series against New Zealand and obviously the test series against Australia. That's really going to stand our game. The experience that they've received in them games is going to stand our game in good stead for years to come.
And of course the midweek side, Lee, that you played in for much of the latter half of this tour, going through unbeaten. It's been a marvellous fillip to the game back home, hasn't it?
Yeah, we're a great achievement for all the boys concerned in the teams that played midweek. They really got stuck in, and they tried to help the test side as much as possible with going into the games and trying to give the squad the confidence that it needed to play in the test matches. And we've seen some players, really making names for the Sevens. Like Gary Connolly's come from the midweek side and played in the tests, and so was Paul Newlove. So as I said before, the standard of our game's improving, and it really does hold Great Britain in good stead for a long time to come.
And so say all of us. Well done, Lee. Thanks very much. I think that's the important thing, Mike, as a little mistake comes in there from Mark Woods. Those two young players, Newlove and Connolly, for instance, babies really in terms of this game, and yet what experience they've had.
Yes, you can never buy that sort of thing, can you? It's a matter of what you get to earn. And the entire squad really have worked hard for each other. It hasn't been a case of a split in the camp in any shape or form. They've worked hard for each other, and I think that we see now the culmination of the pride and the hard work that they've put in for these 7 weeks. And I think that has taken them through, especially this turnaround in the second half.
And let's not forget that there are two young men in the pack as well, Dennis Betts and Phil Clark. Clark in particular had a magnificent tour. On with the commentary, here he is, Phil Clark. Here's one for the future.
No doubt about that, Eddie. He really has been the start of the tour in my book. He's worked very hard.
5 minutes to go. Great Britain ahead, 19-10. Connolly dabs the ball forward for Eastwood. Has Eastwood the pace? He didn't have the pace to catch the ball. Just a little bit of perhaps roast beef, perhaps too much roast beef behind that from Gary Connolly. Malcolm Reilly will go home a proud man, satisfied in the job well done. The Ashes series Test match football came alive in Australia this year. They'll be filling stadiums all over the world whenever Great Britain and Australia play now. And I rather fancy this Kiwi side is quite attractive to watch too. Great hands, great skills. Halligan, well tackled by Eastwood.
Oh, it's been a great series for all countries concerned. A lot of skill, a lot of power. The full credit must also go to Malcolm Reilly. I mentioned earlier that he had plenty of problems in that half-time break. He realised that things weren't going their way, but he's certainly picked that up. The forwards, you get the feeling that they're working for each other, they're sharing the load. The three quarters are at long last clicking.
The chip over the top has come back in New Zealand's favour. Great Britain couldn't snuff the danger out. Kuwaiti got to it first. Freeman to Hoppy. Oh, that was high from a fire. The touch judge is on. He wants a word with Bill Harrigan. It was a high one. Here it is.
Well, it was a grab at the neck, wasn't it? No doubt about it. Now, Harrigan was going to let it go. The touch judge was quick. I don't know why he's bringing Jackson in there. There you see Harrigan saying that, oh, he's just blowing his nose. I thought he was saying that he grabbed him by the shirt.
Maybe he was. 3 minutes of the 1992 tour to go, and Great Britain ahead 19-10, but the Kiwis looking to come back with a late flourish. Freeman, the dummy half. This is Brent Todd. Good tackling, Newlove. Man, the dummy half, Freeman. Now it's with Woods. Edwards stood up to the challenge well. Kiwis right in front of the sticks. Back to Freeman again. Ridge on the blind. Keeps the movement going. Kuwaiti. Stedman, good play. Watched him like a hawk.
Oh, great ball and all tackle. You notice that he couldn't get that ball away.
Freeman. That's Rapati. Rapati to Ridge. Brent Todd is over. The Kiwis will not lie down and die. Brent Todd's come up with it. New Zealand keeping the ball alive despite some excellent British tackling in defence. There's the British bench. Slight furrow brows there now, but this was good New Zealand play.
Well, one of the few times in the second half that Freeman's had chance to just set the ball alight. Tia Rapati, and then out to Brent Todd, who's worked tirelessly all game. But it's all a matter of keeping the ball alive. Ridge did that. Todd dives early, reaches out, no doubt about it, it's a four-pointer.
And Ridge adds the extra two. Now on my watch, a minute and a quarter, that's all that remains. But remember, there will be time added on for that conversion that seemed to take an eternity by Paul Eastwood, and Malcolm really knows, courtesy of the Brent Todd try, and so do all those people on the terraces here today, this test match is not yet over. 3 points, that's all the difference that Howie Tamati knows his team have got to make up in the closing minute here, plus whatever is added on by the timekeepers, and Britain taking their time and Harrigan calling time off.
If ever your country needed you guys, let's tackle, tackle, tackle.
There's not been more than 4 points between these two sides in the past 5 matches. There's 3 points between them now, and the New Zealanders will look to spread the ball out wide to give Sean Hoppy a run. Oh, fires in front of him. He's round a fire. He's got Daryl Powell on his back. But we're now in injury time as the Kiwis roll forward again with Dwayne Mann, with Pongia, out to Kuwaiti. The space is out there. Kuwaiti drops it.
Oh, what a great tackle by Connolly. Ball and all, the chance was on out wide. New Zealand were throwing caution to the wind. They kept the ball alive, but take a bow, Gary Connolly. Not only has he had a top game today, that could have been it.
Edwards gets the possession from the scrum, but Freeman was in on him quickly, and he's there again. We're well into stoppage time. 3 points the difference. 16 New Zealand, 19 Great Britain. 3 tackles gone in this set of 6. Jackson, now Platt. Dragging Great Britain up towards halfway is Andy Platt.
What a great performance by the British pack today, especially the front row. They really have worked very hard indeed. They've laid the foundation for this wonderful win, Eddie.
This is the last tackle. Let's hope it is a wonderful win. It bounces off a New Zealand heel. Powell hacks it forward! A fire! Steadman! But now referee's pulled it back. The referee has pulled it back. There are people on the field. They think it's all over. The referee has pulled play back. Offside against Great Britain. No try. The supporters thought it was all over.
Harrigan has called for time off. They'll wait until all the spectators are removed from the field. The ground announcer has requested they get off quickly. This is the Kiwis' last chance.
So the try disallowed, ruled out, offside against Great Britain. We've had 2 minutes of stoppage time here. Here come the Kiwis again with Hoppy.
Steadman has gone back. Sean Edwards has gone into a sweeping roll. They know the kick will come soon.
There's the full-time siren, but there's the midfield bomb. Britain must come up with it. It bounces back. Play will continue till the next tackle. Hoppy. He'll hack it forward. Schofield has it. Great Britain have the test match. They've won by 19 points to 16. It has been a wonderful contest. A marvellous series. Great Britain lost the first test by 1 point. They've won this third test by 3 points. On aggregate, they take the series. It's been a wonderful tour. It's ended in the best possible fashion, and Great Britain's 1992 tour to the Southern Hemisphere will now be remembered as one of the best in recent times. The boys head home tomorrow. It's been a great day.